Previously on Rings of Power, Season 1.
The sea is always right!
Give me the meat, and give it to me raw.
Durin, I came quickly enough to saturate every last elf.
Pew, 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 pew. They're headed for the tavern.
I like the mountains.
We're about to get a closer look at him.
That's gotta hurt! It's gotta hurt!
That's right, it's been 2 years. Time to wake up and smell the shite. But who knows? Maybe it will be good?
Not bloody likely.
We begin in Ice Crown Citadel, before it was called. But don't worry, it's about to be. Sauron is rallying the orcs to his banner after Morgoth's defeat. Hey, that crown has a really nice little stand, but it does look kind of pointy. So Adar is about to betray Sauron and kill him, but of course we knew this all along from Season 1.
I killed Sauron.
I do not believe you.
So this all means nothing. So the orcs and Adar get to practice their backstabs on Julius Caesaron, but then everything explodes. But everyone in the room is fine since Adar is still clearly alive in this show, and the episode has successfully wasted 11 minutes of my time on a backstory that nobody asked for and doesn't serve the story in any way since we knew all this from the previous season.
You remember me?
No.
And we get our first piece of trailer bait. Now, I'll admit when I first saw this, I was kind of interested in what it could be, perhaps a shadow of Shelob's evil or something. So imagine my surprise when it turns out that Sauron was literally a piece of shit that gets run over by a drunken peasant. Oh, look at that. Even when he was a wee blob, he still had a thing for mice girls. But unlike Galadriel, this one isn't cheesed to meet him. Any possible neat Venom-style scenes are immediately dispelled because he's a dude again already. He literally just got better. It takes us to the point in Season 1 where the hungry caterpillar attacked their boat. Yoink! And Incel Ron meets Galadriel, which we know already happened. And now we have wasted 22 minutes and the story hasn't even progressed.
Grim reminder.
Wait, why is the hungry caterpillar afraid of Sauron when literal orcs aren't?
I suggest you don't worry about this sort of thing and just enjoy yourself.
So the episode finally starts with Galadriel and Elrond racing to Linden to be the first one to tell the manager on each other.
We intend no insult, Commander Galadriel, but by order of Harold Elrond, you ought to come with us.
Wait, did they just say it again? I told you it was Harold Elrond.
Harold Elrond.
Okay, I know it says Harold, but it sounds like Harold to me, so I'm going to call him that from now on.
I even had to check his Wikipedia to make sure this wasn't his first name, because they keep saying it. But
Harold Elrond
gets to Gil-Gadaddy first, and he's big mad at Mouse Girl.
Why do you dance so to avoid revealing the truth?
Megan Savolain Ariskiathon is still living.
Now, who is this man?
He is no man.
Wait, why are the elves switching between English and Elfish in the presence of all elves?
That's stupid.
So the elves now know that Sauron had a hand in creating the Rings of Power, and quite reasonably, Elrond says that they should be wary of them. However, moving is a really big hassle and quite annoying, and they don't want to go all the way over to the Undying Lands where they'll be completely fine. It's a 2-to-1 vote against Elrond, with Gil-Gadaddy and Galadriel in favor of getting blinged up.
Give them to me.
Which means that Elrond's got to take the Rings of Power into his own hands.
I'm telling you, I didn't do anything.
I don't care.
My glasses.
Back to Mordor, and Sauron Brand is pretending to be taken prisoner so that he can be taken before Arthas on his yet-to-be-frozen throne.
Welcome to Mordor.
The King of the Southlands says he wants to negotiate.
Yes, the negotiator.
Let my people go. No.
Unsurprisingly, and I'm very disappointed they don't just start lopping off fingers to get him to talk, or...
What about their legs? They don't need those.
Oh, that's a good idea too. They should just take his legs. Jump cut to Legally Not Gandalf and... Wait, What the fuck is this random piece of loot just floating in the air waiting for him? It's like a video game or something. So that's how he gets his staff?
That's boring.
Look, it's Girl Frodo, the child bride that he stole from the soulless Harfoots.
You know, because they've got no shoes. Soulless.
Yeah, that's right. We're reusing jokes from season 1. I got them in bulk.
Moving on.
Oh, and apparently he can just make stuff vibrate with his hands now. No wonder Girl Frodo abandoned her village for him. Oh, and they defile another part of my childhood memories by ripping this off from The Lion King.
You did it! We'll eat for days. Don't be so glum. I asked you to conjure up some food, and you did.
Oh well, Hakuna Matata. Slimy, yet satisfying.
Well, look at that. It's time for me to say one nice thing about this episode. And the Wargs look better this season, much better than Ugly Sonic from season 1.
You want me to go fast? That's Sonic's thing. Ugly Sonic goes slow, baby.
If the Lord Father releases me, I'm going to kill you.
Wait, this is the torture scene? Aren't those pointy spiky things they were using to poke people's tummies with? Why doesn't he have some holes or at least some strawberry jam coming out of him? He looks completely fine. What's going on? So Salbrand knick-knack paddywhacks and gives a dog a bone, and now they're friends. Wait a minute. That's also from The Lion King.
Stick with me, and you'll never go hungry again.
Elrond, of course, survives the fall because he has plot armor from both being a main character and this being a prequel, which means he's not allowed to die. But at least he has to wait until the guards return to their positions. And look at this. They're letting girls make boats now? No wonder their race is doomed. How is it possible that none of the elves in this show look like elves, apart from Gilgadaddy, of course? It's honestly incredible that even this guy with long hair just looks like some dude. How can you mess this up? They just need to have long hair, pointy ears, and a little bit of grace.
Can't have a little grace. You either have grace or you don't.
But Galadriel is a smart woman, so she knows exactly where Harold Elrond will go.
Elrond would seek out someone he can trust. Someone who could turn the tides his way.
Wow.
Turn the tides? I guess it must be the shipmaster because of water. It's like pottery. Thanks, Mouse Girl. Elrond decides that he wants to destroy the rings. Wow, what a novel idea. They should make a movie about that or something. But before they end his career, Galadriel just wants to use Talk no Jutsu on Harold.
Elrond, I have come to coax you willingly.
She what?
Because in my heart, I know the 3 rings are free of his influence.
But are you?
Back to Girl Frodo and Legally Not Gandalf, and they're being stalked by a dark fiend. Is it the orcs? Wargs, perhaps? The black men of Numenor? Oh wait, it's just Girl Sam. Hey, wait a minute. There's something familiar about this as well.
Going to Mordor alone.
Of course you are, and I'm coming with you.
Yeah, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
It's about 55 minutes into the episode at this point, and I am thoroughly bored.
Grim reminder.
But I am humble enough to admit that I have no idea what they're actually trying to accomplish in this desert. I guess look for loot, so when I said it was like a video game, this must be the desert level from Diablo. They have a riddle quest or something to complete, but I honestly have no idea. But if you do know what they're up to, be sure to let me know down below. Ship Boatman tries to destroy the Rangs by flushing them down the ocean, which is very rude. Don't pollute, my dude. We've only got one planet. It's not like they're car batteries or something, but he can't stop thinking about those Rangs, so he doesn't. We then go back to Mordor, and Salbrand has successfully tricked Adar into letting him go.
I vow to serve the Lord of Mordor to the end of my days and his.
Hey, pretty sneaky, sis. I see what you did there. Hey, wait, but everyone else got branded when they pledged their loyalty.
That's gotta hurt.
Everyone except the guy with Brand in his name? You can't do this to me. Wait, so what did Sauron even accomplish here? He went there, got captured after fleeing the elves, then tricks Adar into escaping so that he can go back to the elves? This doesn't make any sense. What was the point of all of this? We haven't accomplished anything in his character in the last hour.
Grim.
The Darkening has almost destroyed the Gelfling's magic tree.
What is the darkening?
But wait, what's this?
Randy Orton slithering.
Watch out, watch out, watch out.
Ship boy in the back with the metal rings. Wait, so why does he just get to wear this because he put it on? And how come Galadriel gets to keep this one because it fell on the ground and she put it on? What the hell are these bind on pick up or something? Wasn't she in trouble at the start of this episode for simping for Incelron? Oh, but now Gilgadaddy's hot tree girlfriend is healthy again, so it's a happy ending? At over an hour, we finally get our first scene with the dwarves. Wait, no, it's just more elves. Where Sauron is returning, like I said before, which makes no sense because he hasn't even disguised himself. Wait, isn't he supposed to look like this? He's a shapeshifter and he didn't even clean up a bit? Well, I guess there goes any hope I had for season 2 being any different than the first. I honestly can't believe it's been 2 years, but it's time to get back to work. So let me know in the comments what you've accomplished in that time, since there clearly hasn't been any improvement in the show. And I'll see you next time.
What did you do while you were waiting? Hopefully you didn't just fuck around and waste your life.
Previously on the Rings of Power.
Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
Durin,
I can't. Good Lord, what is happening in there?
I can explain.
Enough!
She's the elf.
Elf lover!
From shadow you came. To shadow I bid you return.
What does that mean? From whence you came, you shall remain, until you are complete again.
He is not Sauron. He is...
I'm good.
The Darkening's dark tendrils have spread from Mount Doom, and they are reaching the dwarfish kingdom of Khazad-dûm. Which doesn't make sense to me because I'm pretty sure Mount Doom is just a mountain. The mountain itself isn't evil or have its own influence, surely. It's supposed to be Sauron's dark influence spreading out from Mordor, but Sauron is currently in Eregion with Celebrimbor, so I'm pretty sure they just wanted to add this cool visual, but they didn't really earn it. Am I wrong about this? This is a genuine question, by the way, for the lore guys.
You married a prince. Now you're bound to an outcast.
Now, I will give the show a little bit of credit here for giving a female dwarf a hint of a beard. That's all we asked for. But it's really just this bit of scruff, so I'm not actually sure if it's intended or just the actress didn't shave that day. Disa, the mountain whisperer, senses an oncoming earthquake and warns everybody to duck and cover.
Get down. Now!
Or at least get to a doorway, while she herself decides to stay in the middle of the room.
Not a great plan.
Galadriel sneeds the ground in front of her brother's grave, which is going to be really annoying for the gardener because he has to try and keep weeds out of the main path, but at least she cleaned up a little bit for this scene. But wait, oh no.
It's like one of my Japanese animes.
I told you those seeds were a bad idea. Oh phew, it was all just a dream. The elves are planning to attack Adar, and Galadriel seems to know exactly what Sauron's plan is, to craft rangs to control all of the peoples of Middle-earth, which is a bit of a stretch since all she really knows is that he helped in the creation of the Three Rings. Sauron returning to Celebrimbor is a ridiculous plan, quite honestly, since she or Elrond could have already told everyone that he is the Dark Lord returned, and they would kill him on the spot, and also he has no more mithril to craft with. But I guess she's got the powers of prophecy or something, so don't think about it. What are you worried about? And speaking of Celebrimbor, let's see what he's been up to. And wait, who is little Galadriel over here? Wait, what's going on? Did they only have one dress for the production? Who is Wish.com Mouse Girl? But the one messenger they sent to warn Celebrimbor that Halbrand is Sauron got caught. So it is really a shame that both Galadriel and Elrond didn't tell Celebrimbor who he was when they found out last season.
Galadriel, you're as wet as a river rock. Why?
Because I pulled her from the waters of the Glandui.
Why?
Where is Halbrand?
He is gone.
Why?
And I doubt he will return.
Why?
And should he ever, none of us are to treat with him again.
Why?
We must make 3.
Why 3?
Why?
1 will always corrupt.
Why?
2 will divide.
Why 3?
The powers we forged today.
Why?
Just help the man out here. He just wants to know why. We jump to the land of RuneScape, and our mysterious spy has arrived at Karasger, which I don't know anything about. Apparently they're like butterflies, and we are treated to this mysterious fellow. Who can it be? Saruman? Nope, that is quite impossible. At least it would be an unforgivable insult to Tolkien's legacy if it were. Not that this show isn't already. But the really frustrating thing here is that the show wants you to see this as Saruman, because they want to invoke feelings of Gandalf versus Sauron from the films. This show has so little integrity that it is trying to steal some from your childhood memories, and now we have dork riders chasing hobbits as Saruman man battles with Gandalf man. But anyway, this sniper's wet dream bleeds on the floor, which means Feminem, who was sent to the Shadow Realm last season by Good the Wizard, is back.
Wow.
Wait, what about the rest of the Thigh Inquisitors?
And I will bring you the Istar in chains. I know how to capture him. He will surrender to me, because if he doesn't, I will slaughter the halflings he calls friends.
What about Doderick? And wise?
Fredegar.
But don't you see, no one can give you a name.
No one can give you a name? What about parents, or just changing your name, or having a friend give you a nickname? What is this dialogue? No one can give you a name. What are you on about, you silly git? But we'll have to shelve this conversation for later, as the Dork Riders are hunting the Hobbit halfwits, and we're on the edge of our seats as they're almost caught. And the tension rises as we wait to see if they'll be discovered.
Snake, what's wrong? Answer me, please! Snake?
Snake, are you okay? Snake?
Wait, so how exactly did they not see them? Now this scene happens in Lord of the Rings as well, but it makes sense because Galadriel gave them literal magic cloaks that will conceal them. But the halfwits just have rags and pieces of trees from a green area that does not match the desert. What is going on here? We return to Khazad-dûm, and the dwarves are sad because their plants aren't growing now that they closed the windows. Guess they'll just have to fucking starve, since they can't go outside and plant farms out there in the sunlight. You know, basically how every medieval castle does it, but they are really into their dwarf roleplay, which means they can't go outside for any and all reasons. Instead of using, mining or building structural supports for the windows, they decide to sing, but that just makes things worse. And now they're double doomed. So they decide to dig down to look for tasty rocks to eat, which is the opposite way they should be digging.
How are we gonna get out of here?
We'll dig our way out.
Now, dig up, stupid.
The Dwarven King is still big mad about Durin being a certified
elf lover.
But thankfully there is a strong, independent woman on the scene to talk some sense into him.
Stubborn as a root-bound parsnip. You want to show true strength. Summon your son to you.
Silly boys, tee-hee. So Disa and Durin are having dinner, but their kids are still off screen.
Where are the weans?
Said they weren't hungry again.
We've only ever seen them once, and it was very strange last season actually, how the kids are always just one room away. I'm not even sure if they really exist in this point, or I'm just going mad from watching this tribe, but the show tries to justify that they can't get food from the surface because Durin and his father are beefing?
That doesn't make sense.
We're dwarves. We'll find a way.
Just go to the surface and buy food with the gold in your minds. How is this the point of problem for the dwarves? Elrond finally gets some alone time and gets to enjoy polishing his mast, but someone's coming to ruin his good time. Galadriel, who is now a confirmed hussy and Sauron's simp in the eyes of the Elven King, has stated that she's not allowed outside without a chaperone.
He refuses to send me without you.
And why is that?
Sauron used me. I was played like a harp to a melody not of my choosing.
It was entirely of your choosing.
Stop it, Elrond.
The lost king who could ride you to victory.
Strong woman's worst fears have indeed come true. She needs the help of a man. Hey, look at this. Shitboy actually looks like an elf now without the beard. But why is he shaving with a blunt, polished power shell outside at low tide? That's an abalone shell for my less cultured viewers. The elves literally have mirrors, metal, and bathrooms. Is this scene really just a, hey look, it's New Zealand stuff? We return to the desert, but morale is running low.
Moisturize me, moisturize me.
Well, well, well. What do we have here? Girl Sam quickly draws some water and takes the bucket off the rope, which is where all the weight is. The rope is already wound up, so what exactly causes it to start falling down and set off what I can only describe as an automatic desert well alarm?
Moisturize me, moisturize me.
Legally not Gandalf then picks up the staff of conjuring tornadoes, but it's only got one charge left and disintegrates as he blows his little friends.
You mean away, though, right? Because otherwise it sounds a little different. Has blown them all away.
Celebrimbor has been refusing to talk to Sauron all this time, but Sauron refuses to give up as he waits for Celebrimbor in the rain.
Son of a horse and bitch. I wish I knew how to quit you.
He refuses to give up, but not only that, he is also a master manipulator.
She said you'd say that.
Galadriel, you have spoken with her.
Well, haven't you? What about the High King? Surely he wouldn't neglect it.
Oh, I see.
In fact, he's just like Walter White, Tony Soprano, and the Joker combined. Yes, they really said that, and he successfully gaslights his way back into Celebrimbor's bedroom.
There's no cause to stay where I'm not wanted. Wait.
Oh my.
Halbrand decides to jump into the oven and cooks himself for 20 minutes at 350 degrees until he's crispy and golden.
It's done.
Oh my god, he's gonna say it.
Say what?
The Lord of the Rings.
Boo! You stink!
Great plan. I can't see how anyone would see through this, apart from the fact that he was just standing in the middle of Eregion for days waiting for Celebrimbor. Every elf in the city saw him, and then he went into Celebrimbor's bedroom and suddenly disappears, and now this Anatar guy with no backstory, parents, or early life section to check is just here, and he has the same knowledge of metallurgy that Halbrand had? Yep, couldn't see how anyone could see through this plan. I'm all in on this show. He's also playing Santa Claus, and the dwarves are on the nice list, which means they get an invitation to come get some rings of power. And so we conclude episode 2. Apparently things are going to get really bad next episode, with the appearance of loving orc families, and apparently Tom Bombadil shows up this season as well, which I can only imagine that they'll handle with grace and dignity. But you'll have to subscribe to find out, and I'll see you in the next one. Previously on the Rings of Power.
Welcome to Mordor.
Let my people go.
No.
Pew! 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 They're headed for the tavern.
I like the mountains. We're about to get a closer look at him.
Where is my son?
You dare speak to me?
Oh boy, am I looking forward to this episode. So apparently the Dark Ranger's cutie medic girlfriend has died off screen, by the way, which seems strange. It also looks like this is going to be a Numenor and dwarf heavy episode based on the 2 minutes of previously ons.
Grim reminder.
Also, I don't know about anyone else, but is this intro finger looking good or what? After forcing the audience to sit through 2 minutes of footage from the last season, the show does us dirty again by giving us another full minute from the previous season that we've already seen.
Isildur's dad tries to get his girlfriend to come back to Numenor, but she doesn't want to go, so they release it to the wild. You know, so we can find Isildur and then bring him back in the next episode or something. You know, just like Aragorn did in Lord of the Rings. Remember that? Remember Lord of the Rings?
I should never have pulled the elf on board. I should have left her in the sea where I found her.
Yes. Yes, you should have. Because...
The sea is always right!
The sea is always right!
Wait, is this episode going to be completely from the horse's point of view? That would actually be amazing, and I'd actually respect the choice.
Don't be afraid, four legs.
That's gotta hurt!
Holy shit, this horse is dynamite.
Who's gonna win? After him!
No, let him go.
Even the orcs can respect the majesty of Prancing Pony over here. Now this is the strong, independent character that we've been waiting for all along. It's actually happening, isn't it? Horse POV episode, let's go! Wait a second, Isildur is alive?
Wow, what a twist.
Not really.
But no time for that, as it's spooky spoiler time. Isildur bravely tells his horse girlfriend to save herself.
Beric, go!
After the horse has already done more for him than any of the Númenóreans. The strength of man really has faded, it seems. And we're on the edge of our seats. Can it be possible that Isildur will escape Aragog's lair?
Goodbye, friend of Hagrid.
Well, gee guys, I don't know about this one. Doesn't look good. And he escaped. Oh man, is horse episode over already?
Is it over? No king rules forever, my son. I see.
We jump back to Numenor, and Isildur's dad and Abigail Shapiro, I mean, Isildur's sister, are big sad that the king is dead. But what's even worse, so is her orange dress.
Huge tracts of land.
Man, talk about a wardrobe downgrade. We need to get our girl back in orange. Stat.
nice.
Rasputin, or I guess his name is like Alfazaron or something, arrives with the queen, and Asil Dad whispers something sneaky to her. She's blind, not deaf after all.
How can you stop? How can she stop?
Alfazaron and the queen talk about some dress colors or some shit in this scene. I don't know, I kind of zoned out. I don't think it's important at all. I guess she'll be wearing white and he'll be wearing red later in the episode or something. But then he goes down to the pub for a couple of drinks and a spot of treason. But while they pursue the path of the betrayer, the queen sneaks into her secret room and finds that she's lost her marble or palantir. But who could have it?
What was it you were about to say, Earian?
Back to Mordor, and the orcs are preparing for war, but they just want to grill for God's sake. Especially this one.
That's just straight up beautiful, by the way.
We are safe here. We have a home. Must we go to war again?
Looks like family values are back on the menu, boys. What about donating to the Southlanders, cleaning up our rivers, and voting for Galadriel? It's her turn after all. Yeah, why can't we volunteer at our local community centre? Now here's the thing. I don't have an issue with orcs biologically reproducing. In fact, I believe that's actually what Tolkien said that they do. But what this show doesn't seem to understand is that sometimes less is more. By explaining everything, such as like how Sauron returned by being a blob of shit that got run over by a drunken peasant, takes the mystery, magic, and the creativity of the viewer's own imagination out of the equation. Ironically, by adding these details, the story is less for it. It diminishes and becomes a shadow of itself, which some might argue is what they're actually trying to accomplish, since they obviously hate Tolkien's legacy. Now, is there a time and a place to add some moral ambiguity and character storylines for the orcs? Absolutely, but this ain't it, Chief. Oh look, Americans are canon in Rings of Power now.
It's the double chunk chocolate cookie. That's a ba-ba-ba-boom!
Our star power couple Disa and Durin arrive at Eregion, and Celebrimbor has a lucrative offer.
And exactly what aid do you think you could provide?
Rings.
You brought us here to barter jewelry.
These rings will be beyond any power yet devised.
Oh my god, he's gonna say it.
They shall be rings of power.
Boo! You stink!
And where's Elrond?
I assure you. Harold Elrond said he could think of little else than helping his dwarven friends.
I'm sorry, who exactly are you?
A friend. The elves. And to the dwarves. Nothing more.
I see.
Sauron is just so blatantly evil and suspicious. How is anyone not noticing this? I do know that technically Sauron is using his dark powers to influence people, but the show does a really poor job of illustrating this. I mean, it doesn't really even have to be that much. Just give Celebrimbor some glassed over eyes or something to show that his good sense is being clouded, at the very least. Yes, back to horse episode, let's go.
I can get some money for this.
Wait, did he just straight up take them? That's cold. Oh, and look, he finds exactly what he needs, some saddles.
Well, that's just lazy writing.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I thought you were an orc. Here, let me pull it out.
No, don't! You're meant to leave it in.
Was I?
I'm Sandra. Dumb bitch.
You sure it doesn't hurt?
No, it hurts.
Here.
Stop. I'll do it.
Oh, I know this feeling well. If you want something done right, do it yourself. Am I right, fellas? Oh, so she just happens to have a map to go exactly where they need to go?
Oh, how convenient.
You're hoping to find kin as well?
My betrothed.
I'm moving in with my boyfriend,
Fuck
Ian.
you.
Don't.
It's a trap!
No, not the horse. I'm getting so attached to it.
Pew, pew. Pew.
What? How did he do that? Was he just hiding in there the whole time, waiting to make his epic entrance? Did he have a human cannon in there or something? And he just like exploded out. I had to play back the tape, and he actually rolls in from the side and then jumps through the cart, which is pretty stupid, but I guess it fits with the theme for this show, so whatever. I'd honestly forgotten this dude was even a character by this point, and to be honest, I wish he'd stayed forgotten. He then picks up his firewood and does his cool guy walk away as he returns to the refugee camp. And they have a funeral for his healer girlfriend that died in between seasons. Which is the very least he can do, since he did put his seed in her hand. Back to the dwarf boys, and they're broke.
Oh,
Durin explains to his dad that if they get the magic rings, that will solve all of their problems, which they could also do if they just go outside and start farming, or if they just, use the gold that they mined to, go buy food. But that is far too complicated, so they decide to dig deeper and more greedily, looking for mithril that they might find. And then they'll give that mithril to the elves, who might successfully make magic rings. And then they might get those magic rings to heal their crops, boost their economy, and get gas prices back down under $1 a gallon. Arendir is now stuck with Theo, and he already hates his job in the black goo carrying sector, so he tries to get his ex's kid to go to medical school so he can party again.
This village needs a healer.
But he didn't even need to try this, since Theo then tells him that he's not his real dad anyway.
All those years you were watching us, did you ever know my father? No. Neither did I, but I know this much. He wasn't you.
Goodbye, you little shit.
Do you really want your horse back?
Yes, save the horse. For the love of God, save the horse.
You know where he is?
Horse episode, let's go.
Meet me here, tonight. Moonrise. Don't burn yourself.
Dumb bitch.
I was 10 when I lost my mother. I swam out further than I was supposed to. Got caught in a riptide. She drowned, saving my life.
I think you just have to accept it as a gift. One she gave freely because you were precious to her.
That's right, Isildur. Your mum saved your life. Now every day is a gift. That's why they call it the present.
Oh, you stink!
What a twist!
You can call me crazy, but I'm starting to think that branding all of your human infiltrators is what I would classify as a non-smart move.
What was that noise?
Isildur and our horse hero successfully escape, but Theo, I don't know, he gets abducted by a tree or something. I guess we'll find out next time. The Queen then arrives at her coronation, but then drama.
Should there be another among us?
Oh, so that's where the Queen's Palantir went. Wait, where was Isildur's sister hiding this all along?
Oh yeah, shake it, madam. Capital knockers.
It is of course time for my patented say one nice thing about the episode. Well, actually I've been pretty nice to the horse this episode, that's a bit sus. But I really do like the Palantir shatter effect. I said this last season, but it's very cool. It's unique. I haven't quite seen something like it. But wait, what's this? The eagles are coming, which is like a good omen or something. For Fazeron, let's go Team Red. The dwarves then arrive in Oregon with a fresh supply of mithril, which means it's time for Mr. White to get to work and cook up a new batch of rings. So Amazon made a weird choice with this series, dropping the first 3 all at once. Hopefully I can get ahead of the releases with these edits, but it's crazy to think that next week we're going to be halfway through the series already. So lads, how's it look thus far?
Grim.
Shout out to all the people leaving comments. Some of them have been really
funny
so far. And I'll see you next time. Previously on the Rings of Power.
I was played like a harp to a melody not of my choosing.
Played us like a damn fiddle!
We rejoin our heroes in the city of Lipton. Galadriel is still being chaperoned by Elrond for being a certified hussy. By orders of the Elven King, they are heading to Eregion, but first they need to put together a crack team to make sure Galadriel keeps her skirt on if they encounter Sauron, the elf tease.
Who else should we take with us, Commander?
Wait, this is the team? I thought this was an ad for my local community college. Way to tick off those boxes, Amazon. Wait, what's with all the pint-sized elves in this show? Is this an optical illusion or something? Is she really far away? But it looks like he's behind her and then he walks past. What's going on here? Tolkien's elves are supposed to be statuesque from between 6 and 6.5 feet. Where did they find this elf? Santa's workshop.
Did you have to borrow a reindeer to get down here?
Galadriel is pretty mad that they can't cross the gorge after the path was destroyed by lightning.
Lightning.
No earthly force could do this.
Lightning.
This is the work of Sauron.
Or lightning.
Look, I understand that Sauron is a pretty naughty boy, but I'm pretty sure you don't need to be the Dark Lord to destroy architecture. Galadriel shares her sage advice, but unfortunately, much to her chagrin, a man is in charge.
Commander, I must protest.
Opinion heard, Lieutenant.
Man, that was a really cold move by Gilgadaddy. You gotta respect him for that. Wow, she's really upset about this. Maybe she should build a bridge and get over it?
Boo! You stink!
In the last episode, Gandalf blew his friends.
You mean away, though, right?
And now he's lonely, but it looks like that will not be a problem for much longer.
See, you found the goat.
Now, who could this cheerful fellow be? His hat is blue and his boots are yellow? Wait, no they aren't. Anyway, it's Tom Bombadil from the Fellowship of the Ring, book only. But no time to explain exactly who he is as his map gets blown.
Okay, you forgot to say away again.
My apologies.
He then finds a nice stick, and then he gets eaten by a tree. Is this an ant? I mean, if it is, does that make this branch his, Moving on.
Get up!
Nori and Poppy recover from being blown
away.
And they are big lost, and the Dork Riders are hot on their trails.
I think we lost them.
Where'd you lot come from?
No. Look at the top of his head.
What, is this allowed? Somehow this feels illegal.
You're about to meet the goon.
Wait, so they're going to meet up with the goons? That can't be right.
I wasn't really paying attention.
Call her the goon.
Got it.
Alright, well, I guess it's time to goon. Now here's a fun game. Take a shot for every diverse group you can spot in these scenes.
Nobody's that stupid. This friend of yours, who is he anyways?
He's a giant.
Like an elf?
He's not an elf. Bigger than that.
Oh, so he's a great big grand elf.
Boo! You stink!
And what of the halflings? We're scouring the desert even now. They will not evade us for long.
Comb the desert, you hear me? Comb the desert! Found anything yet?
We ain't found shit.
Tom then comes to save Grand Elf after he got vored by Old Man Olive Tree?
Who are you? Back in the Withy window, folk used to call me Bombadil. Tom Bombadil.
Wait, is it actually Bombadil, not Dombadil? Oh my goodness, I've been saying that for years.
Why didn't someone tell me? Oh, I've been making an idiot out of myself.
Done such as I can with your filthy robe.
I thought I heard a woman singing. Woman? Is no one else here with you? You're here? I was never meant to find a staff under these stars. I was meant to find you.
Do you think you bought these candles from Amazon? Wait, hold up, that's actually a really fire teapot. I wonder if Amazon actually does have those. Only 5 left. What? You can't just go around turning people's maps into bread? Is it going to turn back after you eat it? Where are the nutrients coming from? Doesn't Tom understand the rules of equivalent exchange?
In this house, we obey the laws of thermodynamics.
You're not the first Eastar who's eaten honey by my fire. Once he sought to control magic like you.
His evil will spread?
Not without an ally far more powerful even than himself.
Is it my task to face Sauron?
Your task is to face them both.
So it turns out that the Dark Wizard is actually a Maya as well, and one of the 5 wizards at that.
What's no? Ooh. You stink.
We return to our perfectly, diversely balanced elf elite team, and they have arrived at the Barrow Downs.
What is this place?
Durin Gorthad, known to men as the Barrow Downs.
Wow, Tom Bombadil and the Barrow Downs just one scene apart? Maybe if they cram as many Fellowship references into this show as possible, then people will actually start to like it.
Not bloody likely.
We must go from this place.
Get over here!
Shit, he's dead!
Really? They take that elf first? And they were DEIing so well thus far.
Prepare yourselves. What are they?
Damn, their elite team is really getting destroyed here. It's almost like every elf in the team got selected for some reason other than their abilities. So I guess it's up to Elrond to clean this mess up again.
They're impervious to our weapons. Hold fast. Help me open it. What? Take it. Only the blades with which they were buried will return such creatures to rest.
Good job, smart boy Elrond. Those blades are actually pretty good for killing Nazgul as well, by the way. We return to the Southlands. Theo got abducted by a tree last episode, and now they are searching for him. It's really a shame that he didn't have some dynamite horse that loved him enough to rescue him, but they arrange a search team for him, but one of the members is sus. Sneaky girl goes for a bottle of water.
Fancy you never want for water on your island.
Freshen your drink, Governor.
Get out.
But Arendir calls an emergency meeting to set the facts straight.
I noticed a wound on your neck.
We would have caught her at the gate had she not come in with you.
So why exactly did they not check her when she came in with a sealed door? Just lift up her ponytail, it takes like 1 second. Man, if only Adar didn't mark all of his secret agents. That would make them a whole lot sneakier.
What is it?
Look, Sakura's.
Damn, there is a surprisingly high amount of tree vor in this episode.
It's all right.
Just grab a branch or use a bow, you dummies. Alright, what the hell is actually going on here? Why do people keep getting swallowed by things? Is this the writer's loosely disguised fetish episode or something? This is like the 3rd time. Episode 4? More like episode 4.
What was that? There are nameless things in the deep places of this world. This one we shall call supper.
Alright, I'm not gonna lie, I kinda like this line. Good joke, Elfman, man. And it's back to the hobbits, innit?
They say he dreamed one night of a place family could dig an hole and live in it in less than a month. He called it the Suzat.
The Suzat. I wonder what that could possibly mean. The Halfwits were hobbits in all but name anyway, but the show has just done away with any pretense that they were a different people. How boring. Oh no. You know what this means, don't you? In the last episode of season 5, it's going to be Poppy and Nori found in the Shire, innit? That's going to be it, 100%. So it turns out that the Desert Goons are actually the distant cousin of Nori's Halfwits, but they've got no home to call me own, and it's all very sad.
Rory must never found the Suzat. We don't have a home.
But no time to be sad now, because the Dork Riders have arrived.
To what do we owe the pleasure?
How can you stop? How can you stop?
The Harfoots, where are they? Do you know why we wear these masks?
If I pull that off, will you die?
It would be extremely painful.
You're a big guy.
For you.
I know you believe this ring is deceiving me, but I believe it is guiding me.
Let's think about this for just a second. Is the ring trying to influence you? Well, since you put it on, you have dreamed about murdering Killer Brimbor, and you did have a vision of the Barrow Whites, and then you led your friends right to the Barrow Whites. So I think clearly there isn't enough information to make an informed decision just yet. Just keep doing your thing.
Promise me, Elrond, you will put opposing Sauron above all other considerations, even my life.
Okay.
Defeating Sauron will come first, even before you.
Sounds about right. It is bros before hoes.
Forgive me, Commander. We heard drums.
Arendir then hands Traitor Girl the figurative keys to her freedom, but unfortunately, she cannot not be stupid for literally 15 seconds.
Look, Sakura's.
Arendir has found a new love interest, but before Sakura-chan, the Entwife, can become his new tree girlfriend, he needs to repent because he cut down a tree under duress last season, which is still really dumb because the elves literally cut down trees to use in woodwork in construction all the time. What is the show to have you believe? That the elves just wait for trees to fall down naturally before they carve their boats, houses, ladders, and outposts? Oh my, it's time for Arendir to go green. You know, I was actually only joking here, but Winterbloom is literally a Sakura tree. You can't make this shit up. Also, a really poor choice for a name since they actually bloom in spring. They save Theo and the rest of the naughty Adar humans, but oh no. So sorry, Incilador. Apparently, Traitor Girl's boyfriend from Canada turned out to be real.
Hagen, I thought you...
So did I.
And if you could hand this one to my boyfriend.
Fuck you.
Whiskey!
We then arrive at the final climactic scene of episode 4. The orcs are marching into Elven land, but don't worry, because the elite, diverse elf team is on the case. Unfortunately though, it turns out the orcs were just randomly firing potshots into the trees for fun, and one of the elves catches a stray.
Oh, how convenient!
That's right, the squad is taking casualties before the battle even starts. This is your elite elven crack team. Galadriel then casts lay on hands on her boy, and he's okay, but since the cooldown is like an hour or some shit, she hands the now worthless ring to Elrond, because it's girl boss time, and she don't need no rangs.
Is it a trick?
I'm gonna point out here that not only does this look terrible, it is completely pointless since they could have just hit it because they're elves.
Get over here!
But tragically, she got caught.
Ah, that's hot. That's hot.
Fade to black, and as episode 4 ends, we are officially halfway through season 2 of 5.
Please kill me.
Previously on the Rings of Power.
Do you know why we wear these masks?
If I pull that off, will you die?
It would be extremely painful.
You're a big guy.
For you.
Get over here! Ah, that's hot. That's hot.
We open on these cloudy mountains. You know, some might even call them misty. Now, people are saying that this is the best episode yet, so you know that we're in for a good time. The Dwarven King Didnt has been given 7 rings of power to share with the other Dwarven lords, and I'm going to be honest, if I was him, I'd just put them all on. And why doesn't he just do that? He knows that 1 ring will give him power, so 7 rings should give him 7 times the power, and he would still have room for 3 more. But he decides to put on just 1, and then he goes to the mines in his full kingly attire to work in the dirty mines and dig through a supporting wall.
Dig here. That's a foundation wall. Take it down.
Are you explaining Delvecraft to me?
Hey, look at that, he's literally digging up. This is exactly what I said they should do several episodes back. So they decide to dig down to look for tasty rocks to eat, which is the opposite way they should be digging.
How are we gonna get out of here?
We'll dig our way out.
Now, dig up, stupid. It's not air we need. It's light.
Wait. So if the only problem for the dwarves was finding the sunlight, first of all, why don't they just go and live outside? Second of all, if they have mirrors that can reflect the sun from anywhere in their minds to anywhere in Khazad-dûm, so why don't they just reflect the sun from outside the front doors? We know the doors work because they went to Eregion to pick up the rings in the first place.
Funny.
But because this worked, the dwarves and the elves are now best friends, and they decide to make a friendship door to commemorate it.
Behold, the doors of Durin.
Hey, do you remember how all the fans were asking for the backstory on how Mount Doom became hot?
No, that sounds really boring.
Well, now you have the backstory on the Melon door from the Fellowship. Celebrimbor is celebrating, but his boyfriend is mad that he's having fun.
Too much? I encouraged you to keep it short. Do not recall you saying that. Well, forgive me. You do not always listen.
Trouble in Paradise.
It is a game you play, is it not? Sowing seeds in others' minds and then convincing them that the fruit is of their own thought.
But unfortunately for Celebrimbor, gaslighting isn't real, you crazy bitch. Sauron the Walter White wants to give rings to men.
Rings for men.
But Celebrimbor thinks that marriage should only be between men and women, so he vetoes the plan.
We cannot give rings to men. I am sorry. My answer is no.
But Sauron then decides he'll do it himself, which is strange because Celebrimbor is the ruler of the city. His plan is to make 9 rings for men, because last time they made 3, even though it was Sauron's plan to make 2, it was actually Galadriel's plan to make 3.
We must make 3.
Why? The perfection of the 3.
Thrice perfected.
Why?
Hey, why not make 18 rings? That's like 3 times 3 times 2. Why not just get 10 times the power with 30 rings? Back in Numenor, the king has everything he's always wanted, but he would trade it all for a little more, and now he's big jealous of the elves who get to live forever. Which means he has a sneaky plan.
When you were at her breast, your mother prophesied that you would come to ill ends. What did she say? Impress me in the task that I'm about to place upon you, and I will tell you.
What kind of thing is this to say to your son? You were sucking at the teat and your mum said you were doomed, and then you won't tell him what she actually said unless you complete a quest first? Why can't you just be normal? Elendil and the former queen are mad about the recent election results, and Elendil wants a recount, but the queen can't see the point in it, you know, because she's blind. Since Fazaron is now in charge, all of the naughty seamen have to turn in their badges. Was that a plastic knife? It's a plastic knife. Look at the way it bounces back. I mean, did they film this in the UK and they couldn't get their license to use real ones? One of the things that makes the Jackson films look so good is that they actually use real props. The chainmail is all chains, the swords are all swords, and they have that worn, lived quality to them. But everything in this show is plastic or printed shirts, and it really shows. There is like a dozen guys doing this exact shot, and this was the best one that they had, or do they just not care? I'll let the comments decide that, but be fair guys, they are just a small indie company on a shoestring budget. Isildur's sister is now a completely different character this season out of nowhere.
I'm sorry, I'd hoped to tell you earlier. Lord Belsagar wanted the lot of you charged with treason.
And Dad is starting to wish that she was the one that they lost in Mordor. So he resigns as captain and turns in the one solid weapon that the kingdom could afford. It turns out that Fazaron's secret quest for his son is to just be as unlikable as possible.
Captain leaving deck!
He's nobody's captain now.
Thank you, Captain.
Valar bless you, Captain.
Valar bless you.
Silence!
Oh, Captain, my Captain. Sit down. Leave, Mr. Keating.
Like, what is the point in telling people to be silent here when the guy is leaving peacefully? Just to make everyone hate you? Oh boy, here comes the cool Palantir effect. What? No, you can't do this to me. This is the one thing I actually like about the show.
You know how much I sacrificed?
Prince Durin was against the rings from the start, and it was Disa's idea to tell the king. She then forced him to do it, and then he did what she wanted, so now she's unhappy that he listened to her, and it's his problem that he needs to fix.
You pushed for this.
I know.
From the beginning.
I know. I did. I know.
So I applaud Amazon here for including an accurate portrayal of marriage. Somehow the dwarven prince is short on cash.
We'll give you 100.
100?
100.
And Disa was too busy pondering her orb, so it falls out of those bony hot dogs that she calls fingers. And no one stops the incredibly valuable item as it rolls all the way through the market, down the street, and into a secret cavern that nobody's ever seen before. Disa is supposed to be a stone singer and in tune with the mountain. It's literally her job to map out these caves. How could this massive cavern exist right next to the market without her or anyone apparently knowing about this?
I suggest you don't worry about this sort of thing and just enjoy yourself.
But there is someone else who hates her singing just as much as me, the Balrog of Morgoth. The king then summons the 7 dwarven kingdoms to come get their rangs. But this isn't some charity he's running here. If they want those rangs, then they gotta pay. How much, you ask?
Half! I'll take half his shit!
50% of their entire kingdom. Like, what? So some guy comes to you and he says, look, I've got these magic rings, trust me, they're magic, but you have to give me 50% if you want to try them on. Come on now. But even half is not nearly enough for King Durin. He needs more. So it's time to dig more deeply and much more greedily. Prince Durin then tells the king that an ancient evil has awoken down there and they will literally incur the wrath of the Balrog if they keep mining.
There's something under the mines. A nameless evil. Ancient and powerful. You mustn't dig.
But we all know that time is money, friends, so he tells him to get lost.
Magnets. Viewer beware. You're in for a scare.
Alright, so when I first saw this anvil being lowered into Celebrimbor's workshop, I thought it was because they wanted to expand their ring-making operation. But apparently, they just decide to suspend it by ropes in the air when they aren't using it, so it can fall down later.
Not a great plan.
This is some Looney Tunes tier writing going on here. Little Galadriel just straight up invents invisibility, and no one's impressed at all that she was turning their forge into Luigi's mansion, but there's no time to talk about that now, because Durin just teleported to Eregion to talk to the manager about the rangs affecting his father.
Is it possible? The ring he's wearing?
No.
Then maybe the fault's in the ring maker.
How much do you really know about this Arnatar?
Durin is asking the real questions here, and he is the only character with any sense in this show. We return to Numenor and they're finally grieving for Isildur, who we know is alive. And there's actually a neat little detail here where they put candles on shells and float them away. You know what? That's very cute. But no time for that now, because the guy whose job it is for the audience to literally just hate him arrives to tell them that they're going to demolish their church to make way for a new highway.
This shrine is condemned by order of the king.
My son, this is the oldest shrine in Numenor.
It's in the way of the new aqueduct.
Some more Looney Tunes writing, I see.
Give him the relic. Give it to him, boy.
Oh no. Don't drop the sacred artifact that the priest wants just to be a dick, and he dropped it. This is comical levels of lazy. What's next? Are they going to have him kick a puppy?
May the Valar forgive me.
For what?
The The guards don't intervene even though they're literally here just to protect him, because we need to have our good guys spare the cowardly villain scene.
Put it down, son.
What a twist! He then cleans his sword in the ocean. The reason you clean blood off a blade is because the iron will make them rust. So you put it in salt water instead, you nitwit. They tell the guards to blame everything on Isildur's dad, which won't work because like a dozen townspeople saw everything that happened, and the guards aren't just mindless robots either. Numenor isn't just evil now because the king replaced the queen like yesterday, but of course, the writers aren't thinking about any of this. Back to our battered wife Celebrimbor.
Did you, in some way, alter the dwarven rings, yes or no?
What? Did the guy who both Elrond and Galadriel told you never to treat with again or even allow in the city, who also insisted on creepily holding the mithril as you were forging the seven rings, somehow influence their creation?
No.
Couldn't be. Sauron then tells Celebrimbor that because he lied in his letter to the king, that's what made the rings evil. Sauron then tricks Celebrimbor into making even more secret rings. Yeah, can't see any problems here. Durin then teleports back to Khazad-dûm to try and get his dad to give up his blame. But instead, he gets his job as son back.
Father,
I am proud of you. I am proud of you.
And Disa is mad at him for not fixing the mess that she made.
That's right.
Durin, no.
I mean, it really is relatable stuff. Celebrimbor then tells his crew that they'll be working double overtime with no pay.
We shall work night and day. The Nine must do far more than bring aid to men. They must draw strength from the three and somehow redeem the seven.
Somehow is right, because this plan makes no fucking sense. If you're wondering how this goes in the books, they don't just make rings for dwarves and men. The rings were for elves all along. Sauron stole 16 of them and then handed them out to people that he was trying to control. Celebrimbor then forges the 3 in secret after he leaves, but Sauron finds out about this and wants to control those 3 over all else, and then he forges the 1 ring. The way they're trying to make it in this show makes less than 0 sense. Back to the Orc boys, and their work has reached a Region. Yes! Yes! Elrond arrives back in Lindon. Well, that was quick. He just legged it the whole way there. But heavy weighs the crown on the Elven King's head.
Send the army to a Region this moment.
That will not be possible. Our armies cannot defeat both Adar and Sauron.
Why? The elves are at the height of their power. They've got multiple cities and multiple armies. Sauron is still just one guy with nobody on his team. And Adar's orcs are just like a couple hundred losers that have no real resources, fortresses, or even homes. They just live in trenches. Even the humans were kicking their asses until Mount Doom erupted. What is the show's reasons for the elves not being strong enough here? Well, I guess we'll never know because, oh no, Galadriel is about to get gobbed.
Like one of my Japanese enemies.
But Adar has an interesting offer for her. And actually, it does make a lot of sense. The orcs don't like Sauron, the elves don't like Sauron, the orcs used to be elves, and they're led by an elf. Why can't they ally to fight against Sauron? But it doesn't make sense for us, because Sauron is just one guy with no army, and you just need 5 guys to poke him in the back or something. Even the orcs could accomplish this, and they're homeless losers. Will Galadriel sacrifice it all and join the orcs against Sauron? Well, you'll just have to wait until next week to find out by subscribing. And a big shout out to Let's Review Crap Writing. I see you lads in the comments. He's also been making some pretty fire Rings of Power videos that you should check out. And he sent a few eyes my way, so this is the kickback. Previously on the Rings of Power.
Send the army to a Region this moment.
That will not be possible. Our armies cannot defeat both Adar and Sauron.
Why?
It's the double chunk chocolate cookie. That's a boom.
Like one of my Japanese enemies.
We begin on everyone's favorite character, Arondir, who has found a pair of cowardly orcs who just want to live their lives and don't want to join in the fight.
I don't care what they call us. Anything's better than dying to help Adar chase a ghost.
They then teleport behind him and die. But at least he loots a map which starts a quest from their corpse. So I guess he's going to a Region. Speaking of which, our battered wife Celebrimbor has gone full crazy go nuts.
Why do you still defy me? What pride is woven in your inmost self that you resist my hand?
Isn't that
What is your name again, Smith?
You don't remember?
Of course I remember.
Lord Celebrimbor.
Give me a moment, I said!
Oh, no worries, Celebrimbor. I got you covered. Her name's Little Galadriel. It's simple and easy to remember. Even though gaslighting isn't real, Sauron has been messing with him just for fun, like hiding his tools and then putting them in different places.
Earlier, I could have sworn I left my creasing hammer. Just here.
You mean that hammer?
Hey, that's pretty sneaky, sis, and kind of sounds like fun. But it is a very silly thing for him to do, because it is far easier to corrupt rings if he isn't wasting mithril like this. But trouble's afoot.
Now, what seems to be at issue?
Show him.
Show me what?
No new people have come into Eregion for days, and the guards they sent out to check all died, apart from the one guy that washed up in the river with the words, "Where is he?" carved into his chest. So I guess that means everything's okay. Don't send out any ravens or messages begging for help from Lyndon or anything, sending them out in all different directions. Just ignore the orc wag right outside your city. You can even see the smoke rising from their camps. Yeah, this is totally fine. We return to the Black Pearl. Elizabeth Swann has been forced to dine with Captain Barbossa.
And the apple's one of those next.
Wait, what show is this again? Adar's dinner party is going great. No one's brought any politics to the dinner table, but then Galadriel drops the hard R.
What help could you possibly provide, Orc?
You need to leave. That is disgusting.
Uruk, I can help you destroy Sauron. It is said the 3 elven rings saved your kind from fading. Together, this crown and your rings would be powerful enough to truly destroy Sauron forever.
Now, this show seems to have forgotten that this information should not be available to Adar. Like, how could he know about the 3 elven rings at all? Sauron came to him after he left Eregion, and the plan was to make 2, but he didn't know when or even if they would craft them. He then returned to Eregion and became Anatar. So who or when was Adar informed about the affairs of the Elven Kingdom exactly?
Halbrand is Sauron, isn't he?
If Adar knew this, then this totally destroys his character. I mean, more so than already. Why would he let Halbrand go if he knew he was Sauron? Why would he let him go if he knew he can just stab him and reduce him to a puddle using Morgoth's crown? Why not just keep doing that and have a couple of the orc boys keep stabbing the puddle every couple of years? Or at least keep him prisoner when he came to surrender to you in Mordor. Why would you let him go so he can go gain power and influence and create rings? This makes even less than 0 sense, and I'm losing my mind.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
So it's good that we return to Gondor, Numenor. Isildur's sister is feeling pretty silly because her direct actions have led to her father being sentenced to death until he dies, in the most painful way that Numenor can imagine.
If the faithful wish to live by the old traditions, they ought to die by them as well.
By feeding him to the Kraken. Hold up, they can just summon Krakens now?
Release the Kraken!
Does that mean that they summoned the Kraken in Season 1 that destroyed the boat that Halbrand was on to prevent refugees from reaching Numenor? Legally not Gandalf is receiving training from a mysterious old hermit, but he sees a vision of his friends being tortured just to get at him. Now where have I seen this before?
How do I learn to master its power? To fight back against the darkness?
You will know when you are calm.
Nope. Can't think of anything. Must be a certified original Amazon idea. Do not steal. Back to the desert hobbits. Heaven help us.
This Smeal, I was born in it. I married my Bramgar in its shadow. Every one of these Smeals has a story like that.
Then a Shlami shows up with a bunch of Schleem.
I always wondered how plumbuses got made.
This is just getting beyond parody at this point. Why can't they just talk normal in this show, or at least fantasy normal? But at least Poppy is having a good time, keeping herself busy by milking her special friend Snake. Jesus, is he okay? What has this fluid druid done to him?
Snake, what's wrong? Answer me, please! Snake? Snake!
Snake, are you okay? Snake?
She then goes on to criticize his stinky lizard breath.
Do you have lizard for supper?
Why do you ask?
When she herself is literally eating the bugs.
You did it! We'll eat
for days.
Tom then takes the Grand Elf to go find his Gand.
Dark Wizard found his staff, and now the time has come for you to find yours.
In the forest of sticks.
But there are so many. One could spend months searching out there.
Just pick one, or if they disintegrate after use, take like 20 and go rescue your friends. This is not Gandalf's quest to find the perfect stick. Is he a dog?
You have all the time you need, unless there is somewhere else you wish to be.
Nori. Shoes.
I can't keep the vision out of my head. They're my friends. I gotta help them.
Unless I find her soon, she will die. Both of them will die.
But Han and Leia will die if I don't.
Once I know that she's safe, I could return to you.
Promise to return and finish what I've begun. You have my word.
No, you cannot.
Holy shit, this is so shameless. Do they even have a single original idea?
Many that die deserve life. Some that live deserve death. Who are you to give it to them?
Well, apparently not. What's really annoying about this quote is that the phrase was originally used to teach Frodo the meaning of mercy, but the show's just using it here for another cheap reference, as if choosing between your friends and a fucking stick is a real choice. The dwarves are digging deep and the king is getting greedy. But look at all that loot.
Whoa.
Yeah, just on the floor, that's fine. Don't leave it in the carts or anything. He's much too rich for tables.
He summoned me, father.
No, he did.
Sauron has now teleported to Khazad-dûm.
Seven serving you well.
Because he needs another hit of Mithril. But so sorry, Barbie girl, the Dwarf King wants more than he has to offer.
We need more.
The answer is no.
Wait, was he about to summon Mini Diablo from the brazier right there?
Farewell.
But do not worry, my son. They'll be back.
Have you gone mad?
The whole world's gone mad, my son.
Take off the ring.
I'll get his head! I'll get his head! Then he's left us no choice. The dwarf on that throne is not your father. We'll lay our bodies in front of that mine ourselves if we have to.
Looks like Evil Disa is also back on the menu. Last season she was straight up suggesting treason.
We will rule this mountain and all others before our time is done. That mithril belongs to us.
I was wondering where that character went.
Durin.
Talking about humiliating him, about destroying him.
Howley knows he's twice the father to me my own ever was.
Wait, what was that about her dad? Where is he, by the way?
Durin! Durin!
You are to be cast into the sea to face trial by Abyss. They are summoning the sea worm as we speak.
Well, I guess that confirms that they can just summon the Kraken any time and place they want. That's a bit odd, innit? But oh no for little sis, as she has to face the consequences of her own action, and she doesn't like it.
His offer of mercy still stands.
It is hardly mercy to ask a man to set his integrity aflame.
After everything this family has lost, I cannot lose you two.
Dumb bitch.
And sorry, Elendil, it looks like she's got a new daddy.
King said you'd say that. Said your hatred for him had become hatred for me.
And I really do feel bad for his actor. He's been dialing his sad faces up to 11, but there's only so much you can do with this dialogue.
If it is the will of the Valar that my life be spared, then it will be. The sea is always right.
You said the secret word!
The sea is always right!
The sea is always right!
The dwarf boys have a mining job to do, but too bad for them because they have never encountered the power of a strong, independent woman before who don't need no man, and she's going to stop them all by herself without the help of her husband.
Dita, we're here on orders from the king, so please move.
Why can't you just be normal?
Is that meant to frighten us off?
No, they are.
And apparently she can just summon bats that don't go after her? I guess that's a power she has now? What is going on with this show?
Do you forsake all earthly authority and accept the judgment of the Valar?
I accept their judgment.
Throw him in!
Release him! I have the right to face the Valar's judgment in his place.
Is this true?
I think that's a great idea! Grab the stone!
So it shall be!
Toss her in the ocean!
Queen Muriel then tries to take the third oath of Dagon.
It's like one of my Japanese animes.
But too bad for Hungry Caterpillar Sea Kraken, because he also didn't realize that he was up against a strong, independent woman who don't need no man.
Innocent! Queen of the sea!
Oh boy, here it comes. Oh, you know, spoiler alert, but at some point in this story, Alphazaron's going to literally capture Sauron because he's having too much of a giggle. That's actually real, I'm serious. But will Rings of Power be brave enough to show that scene? I guess we'll have to wait and find out. It's finally time to attack Eregion, and Glug, yes, that's actually his name.
It's strange. Maybe. Who am I to judge?
Hands the war horn to Adar, which means...
Our town is under siege.
Did you really think I would attempt to challenge the might of Sauron with a single legion?
Build more farms.
Sauron then teleports back to Eregion because it's dinner time. But oh no, Celebrimbor has burnt the roast, which means someone needs to put him in his place.
How fares your progress?
But our girl has had enough and she's about to escape.
I've had quite enough of you telling me where I belong!
So Sauron has to use some mind control love bomb tomfoolery.
We still have 9 rings to forge.
To make him like see unicorns or some shit.
Be at ease. Mithril ore, refined to a powder by Narvi himself.
Anyway, since you're watching this show on your second screen, don't worry, I understand. Sauron didn't really sneakily steal Mithril from Khazad-dûm, even though he can teleport around like Durin, so that begs the question, what is in this jar he claims is Mithril? I wonder what it could be. But no time for pondering that now, because Sauron's master plan has come to fruition and is finally revealed. Step 1, arouse Galadriel. Step 2, neglect Celebrimbor emotionally. Step 3, negotiate Mithril. Step 4, allow Eregion to burn. Step 5, take the 9. Step 6, attract men. And finally, Step 7, Rings to rule them all.
What the hell are you talking about, dude? I'm talking about the system.
I think it's fair to say that episode 6 has been the worst episode of the entire show. I mean, at least so far, but can it get worse? You'll have to tune in to next week to find out. Previously on the Rings of Power.
Disa, we're here on orders from the king, so please move.
How fares your progress? I've had quite enough of you telling me where I belong!
Our town is under siege.
That's right, we have finally arrived at the penultimate episode. We begin on battered wife Celebrimbor as he enjoys his morning tea. Ah, what a beautiful day. To be insane. What's this? Celebrimbor gets 2 scoops of not Mithril. As he nears the completion of the 9, he starts to notice that something's different.
Something's missing.
This guy?
Hello, Mr. Mouse.
Oh wow, he's just like me for real.
The floor is hardly the place for the greatest of elven smiths.
These past weeks, I have felt such clarity.
How fares your progress?
The Rings of Power are nearly complete. What is another few days to perfect something that shall last forever?
Apparently, Celebrimbor has been crafting these rings for weeks, while the orcs have been sieging the city, but apparently they haven't aimed at the tallest and most important building in the city. So yeah, there's plenty of time for a few more days to finish off this little project. It was Sauron's plan to bring the orcs here for some reason, I guess just to put a ticking clock on the episode.
Not a great plan.
And while it has been fun to shoot the city from afar, Adar decides that the town has been leveled enough, so he enacts his secret plan.
What is it?
The siege engines. They've gone silent.
Turning them away from the city.
Prepare for ground assault.
They're damming the river.
How could they possibly know that this would work? But it does somehow, because they aimed for and hit the Instagram spot rock that starts a chain reaction, which immediately and perfectly dams the river, and there's no spillage or trickles, it's just a perfect seal, and the river instantly drains. It took 4 rocks to level the cliff. Why didn't they do this sooner? How bloody convenient. Celebrimbor then begins to experience some deja vu and suspects he's really in the Matrix. So he sets up a little test to catch Sauron later on. The dwarf king has been able to move 2 dwarves from preventing his mining operation, so he decides to send in the big guns. But faced with hearing Disa's singing again, they decide to surrender. Well, you can't blame him for that. Elrond has teleported to Khazad-dûm, and it's the first time he's seen his boyfriend since he was thrown out of the kingdom last season. And just like every time Elrond talks to his bosom friend Durin, he has come to ask for another big favor. Fortunately for him though, Durin is looking for any excuse to escape from his wife, and immediately agrees to go fight and hopefully die at the hands of the orcs. Speaking of, back to the boys, and it's work time. Loose arrows, they're already firing, bro. Look, this dude's just trying to look busy because the boss is watching, isn't he? Lucky for the orcs that the sun isn't out today. Or did they completely forget about that from season 1? You be the judge.
I used to be an adventurer like you, and I took an arrow in the knee.
Celebrimbor has finally noticed the glitches in the Matrix.
The rings. Are they finished? Wait for it. Wait for what? Captivating.
Because Sauron's mind control is playing on loop like it's some sort of tape from a movie where a bus couldn't go under a certain speed, and if that bus's speed slows down, it would explode.
I think it was called the bus that couldn't slow down.
Do you not see a cycle repeating itself at intervals throughout the day? And there is more repeating itself at intervals. Look, the candle has not burned an inch all day. Repeating itself at intervals.
He finally realizes that he's been getting roofied all this time. But I mean, just look at the way he dresses.
You practically begged for it.
Oh, what have you done to me?
I gave it to you.
No!
But enough is enough, and he has listened to just the right amount of podcasts to be able to escape the Matrix, only to realize that
The Mithril.
True creation requires sacrifice.
Wow, what a twist.
Not really.
Oh, look at the puppy.
I thought you were dead.
I was!
Seize him. He is Sauron.
Seize him! Get your hands off me! No!
That's gotta hurt!
Finish the 9, and I will spare your city.
Is no one else listening to this? There are a lot of conversations in this show that people just don't seem to hear, in which very important things are said. Really quite unfortunate that people just aren't a little bit more observant. But not so fast, Sauron, as the elves have arrived. Wait, I thought Gilgadaddy said that they couldn't do this. I mean, I said that was stupid because clearly they can, and they did. But did the showrunners forget that they said that? Oh look, it's the gnome girl. I'll just point out here that it is awfully convenient that the orcs are fighting in the shade when they literally melt in the sun, so I guess it's a great idea to charge them and engage them on their own terms, you know, instead of perhaps using your superior elven arrow abilities to shoot them from afar. What the actual? The sun is right there. If the wind even changes slightly and blows the clouds away, the orc army will just die right here.
Oh, how convenient!
But just as the elves charge to get into glorious melee combat, the orcs unleash their secret weapon.
Brother, what's that?
If the elves attack, they're going to set Galadriel free, and then they'll have to listen to her again.
There is a tempest in me.
So Elrond decides to hold the charge.
If she speaks again, cut out her tongue. Yes! You will fall.
Not before you have painted the sands of the Glanduin black with the blood of your kin. Are you prepared to spend their lives so freely? Are they?
What is going on in this discussion? Are the elves the real cold-blooded murderers here that are willing to die more so than the orcs?
Galadriel.
Are we the baddies?
Elrond removes his clasp, and Glug decides not to report this because he just wants to grill for God's sake. I mean, he does have kids to feed after all. And then this happens. Where did this come from? Right on the lips too. Isn't she like his mother-in-law or something? Now I thought this might make sense at first if he was sneaking the ring into her mouth like they were passing chewing gum so that she could use its power to escape, but he actually passes her the skeleton key pin from his cloak here, so I guess this was just because he wanted a little bit of a taste? I mean, she's married, dude. What about her husband, Celeborn? Or to use his real name, Teleporno. Elrond and friend then discuss their plans right in front of the orcs, who they assume don't speak Elvish, and there's really no reason to make this assumption because they used to be orcs, and their leader speaks Elvish.
Not a great plan.
Durin then raises morale for the dwarf boys, and they are big ready to go fight the orcs, but Dad doesn't nearly have enough gold. So he decides that he's going to go work the mines for himself. I mean, even if you do have a really good paying job like being king, and you're imposing an 100% tax on your people and a 50% tax on all other dwarven kingdoms, there's really nothing wrong with having a little side hustle, especially in this economy, am I right? Wait a second, it was sunny there for a second. How are the orcs fighting at all? And then it's not sunny here, and then it's sunny again. But Elrond was too busy wounding adventurers in the knee, and his horse gets got.
That's my horse!
Which means that this orc has to die. Good job, wait, what? No, Elrond, don't. That trebuchet is pointing straight to Eregion. Elrond, no, there are innocent elves in that city. No, Elrond!
You're fired.
So Elrond just straight up committed a war crime here, right? I mean, why wouldn't the writers just do this scene on one of the trebuchets that was pointed at the mountain that they used earlier? But I guess nobody cares about this because pony. Now I'm going to make a classic mistake here because I know how much the internet cares about animals, and with that knowledge I will make the unpopular claim that horse lives are not equal to people lives or indeed elven lives. Just because the pony died does not make it okay that Elrond launches rock shrapnel into the innocent elven city.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
But no time to think about this rationally as the orcs are taking down the wall. And look at this one, he's got a cute little umbrella. Isn't that sweet? It's really unfortunate the elves don't have any counter-siege weapons or boiling oil to pour on them. In fact, they don't seem to have any defenses except for bows at all. Oh well. But tension reaches an apex as Glug bears his emotions.
Shall we sound the retreat?
No. Sauron must not escape at any cost.
Adar!
Nam kipak hai, kinam shupak hai.
So what, you're just gonna dump me? Just like that?
You knew what this was.
Adar rushes to his tent, but Galadriel has escaped. Wow, I bet you feel pretty dumb since you saw Elrond take off that pin, huh? But fortunately, her actor is actually short enough to pass for an orc, so this kind of works. Oh, come on now, but you can see her hair coming out of the hood. Come on, hun, at least tie it up in a bun. We know how much their show cares about hair, more than plot anyway.
Look at that pretty hair.
Told you so.
Dumb bitch.
What in the actual fuck? Arondir is the one to save her, not, say, Elrond or anyone else that was in on the plan when they gave her the skeleton key brooch? The dwarves are ready to reinforce the elves, and you know what? I actually do like Durin's armor here. But oh no, the king's just gots to mines.
He's gonna dig. He's gonna loose that beast.
Why?
So he's killed all of the guards and potentially his daughter-in-law.
Disa. I don't know.
So it's time to recall the entire army because the king is going to unleash the Balrog.
That doesn't make sense.
You must know it pains me, treating you
Like you've treated countless others.
like Morgoth treated me.
Oh no, poor Sauron's dad beat him, so he hits his wife Celebrimbor. But you made me do it, boy. Didn't I make you strong? Celebrimbor is now also chained up, so he can't escape, which doesn't make a lot of sense since he is the greatest of all elven smiths, and he's in a forge with metalworking tools. So if there was one person in the entire Middle-earth that could break out of this, it's literally him. But our battered wife has had enough, and he's finally ready to leave Sauron. And he's also going to take the kids, by which I mean rings, with him. Once he's freed himself from this chain, of course. Maybe you could use the tools to unlock yourself? Nope, the hammer didn't work after 3 seconds. I guess you better just cut off your thumb, why not?
That's gotta hurt!
Also, can't the rings, like, heal people anyway? So why not just slip them all on and use their power? I mean, he's got 9 rings, and he's got 9 fingers, but I guess these are spooky evil blood rings anyway.
Release him.
But the Lord of Eregion ordered...
This is the Lord of Eregion.
It was my fault.
No.
No, it wasn't your fault. It was Galadriel. It was all her fault. If Galadriel had just gone to the Undying Lands, then Sauron would have never come to Middle-earth. He would have just retired in Numenor. Literally all the events in this show hinge on Galadriel interfering and ruining everything. She's actually behind everything going wrong in this entire show. It's insane.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I'm taking crazy pills!
Hurry. The old dwarven tunnel. I used it to enter the city undetected.
Secret tunnels? You mean to tell me that they could have sent out messengers calling for help, reinforcements, or just evacuate earlier, but they didn't because the tunnels only teleported into the foundation of the city when Galadriel had need of them.
Well, that's just lazy writing.
Our enemy will not breach that wall. A single arrow from you may yet turn the tide.
Pew!
Huh, I wonder why none of the entire city of elven archers thought about trying this a bit earlier. No! No, not the gnome girl. I'm so invested in her from that time she just shrunk into the background. But even with all this losing, the elves are doing much too well, which means...
Send him in.
You know, I'm starting to get a bad feeling about Glug. I think he's going to try and be a hero and then get killed by Adar. I mean, he's just thinking of his family. Come on, man. He just wants to grill, for God's sake.
It's the double chunk chocolate cookie. That's a ba-ba-ba-boom!
Oh no, not one unarmored troll. Those things have never been killed by elves before.
You, Sauron, are hereby...
Hey, you know what? That's a neat trick. It's a shame that Sauron didn't try that when he was being stabbed by a handful of orcs at the start of the season. But it's time to bite the pillow, Eregion, because Damrod is going in dry.
I fell and hurt my tummy. Hawk!
Oh, would you look at that? The sun's coming up. Well, I guess that means the orcs have to retreat, right?
The dwarves are coming! Look to the north!
Durin recalled their army.
No, must be some mistake. Durin will come.
Now that's what I call awkward.
Get out.
But I do kind of appreciate that the one thing they didn't steal in this show was the army arriving at dawn to save the day. Consider my expectations subverted. But at least they did last until the day, so they're going to be safe anyway. No, they can't just go into the sun. This is a rule that you set for your own show in season 1. You even remembered it in this episode up until now, regardless of how dumb that line of shadow was over their army. I mean, look at them. They're not even wearing hats. At least slip, slap, slop on some sunscreen. What utter garbage slopper. So why exactly did Elrond bring the ring to the battle anyway? He doesn't believe in their power, so he's not going to put it on. And in fact, he thinks that they influence people anyway, so surely he would have left this in Eregion. So why exactly would he bring Galadriel's ring, Nenya, to the battlefield? Nenya business, that's why.
Yeah, boy.
Previously on the Rings of Power.
Oh, what have you done to me?
I gave it to you.
You practically begged for it.
You're fired.
It's the double chunk chocolate cookie. That's a ba-ba-ba-boom!
A single arrow from you may yet turn the tide.
We begin the episode on Durin.
It's the ring. It has him, mind and soul.
Get them to the healing chamber.
Didn't know the dwarves had healing chambers, but okay.
No matter what you hear, do not follow me down that mine.
King Dad Durin is busy giving it to the mountain dry.
Durin will come.
Because he doesn't just want to mine, he has to mine.
You're strong enough to wield an axe, but are you strong enough to use it against your father?
No, father, I'm not.
Is it me, or has Durin cried every episode he's been on this season? Oh, would you look at that? Everything worked out for everyone. No, wait, it's the Balrog. What a twist. King Durin then takes off the ring.
Why?
And charges the Balrog of Morgoth.
Why?
For some reason that makes no sense, because they could have just gone back into this hole, which is much too small for the Balrog to go through. So why sacrifice yourself for nothing?
Forgive me, my son, King Durin.
Well, I guess that was fun. Guess we won't be seeing Fireboy again for another 2 years because the opening scene begins. Also couldn't help but notice that none of the army was down there, which means that the dwarves not reinforcing Eregion plot point was completely meaningless, and the city was destroyed for nothing. Suffer, elves! We are now back in the land of RuneScape with not Gandalf, and you know what sucks is that because last episode was basically all orcs and elves, you just know that this episode is mostly going to be Harfoots and Númenóreans.
Stop it, please, I beg you!
Manwë promised you would come. I confess, my patience wavered. Old friend.
You know me.
Know you? We are as kin. 5 of us there were.
See, now I did tell you he was one of the 5 wizards, but which one could he be?
You journeyed to Rune, seeking answers, old friend. Follow me, and you shall have them. The small ones are safe.
So that was a fucking lie.
Forgive me, old friend. I thought these nomads might help me find you at such low company.
My people were once kings, wizard.
Well, I guess we know who's getting a promotion to Nazgul. I mean, not this one, but the other ones.
Dark Wizard.
Whoa, buddy, you can't just go around calling people dark wizards these days. That's their word.
That is a name I do not embrace.
See, I told you so.
Ignorance and fear of our kind. My actions today will lead you to know better of me. Losing those you care for most will give you a taste of the suffering. Should Sauron prove victorious?
Yeah, that helps. This is a perfectly human reaction. Just torture everyone to gain their trust. I'm sure this makes sense to the executives at Amazon at least. Holy shit, did they really beef him up. He's like Rey from Last Jedi levels of strong. Jesus, please us. Jumping back to Númenor.
Look, Sakuras.
What is the meaning of this?
Last time, Queen Muriel survived the Kraken because the sea is always right.
The sea is always right.
The sea is always right.
Which means she's innocent, but not so fast. The king has a piece of paper that says that she bewitched the sea and is in league with Sauron. So all faithful to the Valar are now, by order of the king, badmans.
All so-called faithful are now declared traitors.
Wait, so his only political opponent is back in power. He has a piece of paper saying that she's bad, that he wrote because of visions from the Palantir. Am I reading the situation correctly? Visions from the Palantir, at this time of year, in this part of Númenor, localized entirely in Alfazaron's bedroom.
Yes. May I see it? No.
Are there any faithful in there?
No, move along.
Your shelter.
Faithful.
Die not.
Shall I tell our Ferrisol of your insolence? Move along.
Man, why would you even call your opponents the faithful anyway? Just call them traitors. I mean, think of the optics at least. Oh, and you know what? Color me surprised. We are still pew-pewing in Eregion. It's the Orcs town now, boys. But somebody really should speak to the manager, because while it does look cool, and call me crazy, because it's probably a good idea to stop shooting artillery into the town that your ground forces are now entering. But I mean, what do I know? Jeez, that is one thick elf, dare I say it. This is, unironically, just like one of my Japanese animes.
The flight meat's back on the menu, boys.
Galadriel leads a bunch of women and children right into the hands of the orcs and then hands over the Rings of Power.
Not a great plan.
See, now I told you she was evil. Oh man, look at poor Killer Brimbor. Hope he turns out okay.
Not bloody likely.
Look what you have done to yourself.
You made me do it to you, boy.
All I have done has been for you, Sauron, Lord of the Rings.
Boo! You stink!
Sauron then sheds a tear for his ex, but then, wait, what's this? What is Glug doing here?
Are you Sauron?
I have many names. I have had many names. I have many names.
Repeating itself at intervals.
What is yours, Uruk?
Well, would you look at that, using the right terminology. How progressive of Sauron, not like that hard R Galadriel.
Orc.
Jumping right back over to the little shit town that will one day become Osgiliath, the Númenóreans have arrived to tell the Southlanders just how much they suck.
It's a disgrace the state this place is in.
But before that, we cut to Theo and Isildur.
Ill fortune to pack a dagger in a bag. Say it cuts a journey short.
They then talk about their mums, and then he leaves, so that the chick with a boyfriend can then show up and be alone with Isildur to tell him that she and her boyfriend are building a house together. But wait, what's this? The hussy has found a better meal ticket, and she wants a man with indoor plumbing.
It's not a fountain, it's an aqueduct. It's supposed to bring water into your homes. There you go.
Come with me to Númenor.
Kemen then shows up to style on the dirty Southlanders and tell them that he owns their shit and to overall be a knob.
And who are you?
He's the leader of half the colony. Uphold the agreement we made with your queen.
Agreement's changed.
This deal is getting worse all the time.
Is that Kemen?
Isildur.
I thought you were dead.
I was.
I never gave up hope, even when everyone said there were no survivors left.
There wouldn't be, if not for Beric. I trust there's room on the ship.
Plenty.
Then one more should be no trouble.
Bitch, are you serious?
No passage for low men. My father is now king, and yours is wanted for treason. Shall I have them slaughter the horse?
Nay!
Oh my god, I actually called this completely. This is comical levels of lazy. What's next? Are they going to have him kick a puppy? I told you that this was a parody.
It's about the supplies you promised.
No timber, no supplies. But I'm certain that won't be a problem for you. After all, they're only trees.
Oh man, well that's a foreboding line. You just know that this guy is gonna go green next season. Anyway, let's see what Galadriel and Adar are up to. And what is he making out with a rock?
Leave us.
I accept your terms, Uruk.
Well, would you look at that? She can be civil after all.
Orc.
What a twist!
Oh wait, no it isn't. We saw this in the last episode. Adar now has everything he needs to kill Sauron, but for some reason he gives it back to her? So his offer and plan from a few episodes ago is just another meaningless forgotten point of this meaningless soon-to-be-forgotten show, but no time to think about that now because Glug's not feeling so good.
What happened? We found Sauron. He tried to make Glug betray you, but he resisted.
Aw, poor loyal Glug.
It's too late. It is never too late.
It's too late.
Wait, loyal Glug, no! You rat. So what was the point of this? They outnumber Adar like 30-1, but oh how ironic, the stabber has become the stabbee.
Yeah, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
This makes no sense. Why would Glug, of all the orcs who doesn't want to fight, and especially doesn't want to serve Sauron, why would he be the first one to betray Adar? Sure, he was concerned that Adar was becoming too much like Sauron, so instead he joins Sauron?
I implore you to reconsider.
Okay. What orders, Lord Sauron?
Raise Eregion.
Raise Eregion? I mean, that place is pretty much messed up already.
Leave no elf alive, but bring me their leaders.
Okay, so just to confirm your order, you want to kill all the elves, but not all the elves. Got it.
All this was your design from the beginning.
Please, you think too much of me.
I mean, she really does. It was mostly Galadriel's plan. Sauron's just been getting freebies this entire show. Like this part right here, where instead of trying to run away or hide the ring, she just shows him that she has one of the three.
Not a great plan.
See, at least Gilgadaddy was at least smart enough to try and hide the ring. That's all I'm really asking for, to try. But will Galadriel face the consequences of her action for once?
Not bloody likely.
Oh look, Arondir is completely fine. Wow, such stakes in this show.
I thought you were dead.
I was.
Wait! Lord Sauron wanted the leaders unharmed!
If they wanted the leaders unharmed, why is Arondir alive? Sauron and Galadriel then fight their own continuity errors. See, now this is why you don't use CGI for everything. Where did the blood go?
Boy, I really hope somebody got fired for that blunder.
But Galadriel's only weakness is just how down bad she is, and the only thing that her elven eyes see is Sauron looking fine as hell. And just when you thought this show couldn't get any worse, they somehow find a way to make it twice as bad.
I'm seeing double here. Fuck
Galadriel.
Oh look, the blood's back on her shoulder, and now it's gone, and now it's back again. You can really see where the budget for this show went.
Please to explain it.
Yeah. Well, whenever you notice something like that, a wizard did it.
I see. All right, yes.
The door is still open.
The door is shut.
Yeah, it's like poetry.
Well, I guess that means Sauron's just won. I mean, he's beaten her. He has an army of orcs. He has the 9 rings for men. He has one of the 3 elven rings. He also has Morgoth's crown. And he got Frostmourne from Adar. So all he needs to do is take them right now before she can jump off the cliff into the water like Elrond did in the first episode. But wait, oh no, this isn't some water cliff that you can maybe just survive. It's a regular, non-water cliff that you just die from if you jump from it.
You wish to heal Middle-earth. Heal yourself.
She then jumps from it. Well, I guess that means she's dead. The dwarves then show up pointlessly late because they didn't even need to bother stopping with the Balrog.
The dwarves are securing the elves' retreat. If we pursue many orders...
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
No, not Glug. He may have been a traitor rat, but I still care about him.
Wow, what a twist.
Not really. Her very immortal spirit is being drawn into the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, you know what? I'm more concerned that she jumped off a cliff rather than the pokening she just received. Elrond then slips on the girl's ring.
Gay!
So that they can save her from facing the consequences of her own actions for even once in this show. The Arfoots are crying again in it, and Poppy decides to narrate for a bit about all the shit that's messed up. Like this slag, who tried to abandon her boyfriend for Isildur, but because she wasn't allowed on the boat, she goes back to him and he takes her back.
We have to fix it. Maybe some things can't be fixed.
Thank you kindly, Gandalf.
Goodbye, Gandalf.
Wow, that joke was so funny. They got to use it twice.
He's a great big grand elf.
Repeating itself at intervals.
But even though he has those magic vibrating hands of his, they decide to break up. So just about to be Gandalf goes back to chat with Tom for like 2,000 years or something because he's not supposed to show up until the Third Age. Wait a minute, that's Gandalf's staff.
Oh my god! What a twist!
A wizard does not find his staff.
Why?
Like his name, it finds him.
Why?
But because anyone that actually enjoys this show has to have brainworms and probably couldn't figure this out for themselves, the show decides to make sure to point it out further so that all of those glue-eating smooth brains aren't confused.
Gandalf. That's what they're going to call me, isn't it?
Boo! You stink!
As we begin the epilogue of Season 2, things aren't looking good for Durin.
The lords of the Blue Mountains paid him vast tributes, and they're demanding to collect.
That's not how taxes work. But I guess this means that son Durin is going to have to ring in some favors?
Get out.
Wait a second, if Durin still has the 7 dwarven rings, then why were the other dwarven lords paying the 50% tribute taxes? That's the whole point, you stupid show. Why are the rings here? Just for the visual?
Eregion has fallen. The survivors have fled to a valley north of here.
Hey, would you look at that? Now you have the backstory for Mount Doom, the Doors of Durin, and Rivendell. Thanks, Rings of Power. Elrond took Galadriel's V-card last episode, but he's at least man enough to put a ring on it. Who am I kidding? No one's going to believe Galadriel's a virgin.
What course would you advise, Commander Galadriel?
Wait, why is Arondir here, or even speaking? He's just a scout for the Southlands. He's not an elven lord. Aw, look at that puppy. As Season 2 comes to a bleak but hopeful ending, the elves are inspired by the 4 greats. Gil-galad, High King of the Elves, Elrond, Herald of the King, Galadriel, Commander of the Northern Armies, and Arondir, Token of the Southlands. Like, wait, what is that? Like, for real, is that the only reason he's standing there? And now with confidence I can say, and I'm sure that we can all agree, that of all the Rings of Power seasons thus far, this was definitely the second one.
Fanny.
Well, I guess that is it. No more ranks for another 2 years. Back into hibernation for me. But before you go, let me know what was your favorite moment from Series 2. And don't forget to like and subscribe for new videos every week.
Fools!
Fuck, look at this elf mogging the rest of the extras. Now this one hasn't broken his mewing streak since the First Age.
Nom 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 nom. Oh, nom 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 nom.